and welcome everybody to Book It Vince, the premier fantasy wrestling booking podcast on the internet from UnknownError Films. And I am the host. I'm one of the hosts. Martin Bennett. And with me is the co-host, Anthony Hall.
Hello, Marty.
How's it going?
It's good, man. You know, just hanging out. That's pretty much
just hanging out in quarantine.
That's pretty much
living my pandemic life.
Like living my simulated retirement life.
Yeah. So we thought about we've had an idea of doing a wrestling podcast for quite some time.
Yes.
And just during quarantine, it was like originally we wanted to do something a bit more serious, and then I thought it was actually a suggestion Anthony made a while ago about like a segment in a wrestling podcast, and I thought, you know what, we're stuck in quarantine, we're stuck at home, why don't we do something fun? Let's make that segment its actual own podcast. So what
the whole smackadoo.
What this is going to be is Book It Vince, because it's the classic thing of, you know, you come up with a fun idea of like, this is how a rivalry should go in wrestling, or this is how a storyline should go, and then at the end you go, book it, Vince. Come on, Vince, just book it already.
Yeah, as if you're telling Vincent Kennedy McMahon, as if you were imploring him to book your storyline that you have built up in your mind.
So then I thought what would be fun is if each episode we go back and forth, or we bring in guests or whatever, and we challenge each other to fantasy book a rivalry between people we may never see go against each other, or that we want to see, or that maybe should get maybe some episodes we'll do a what could have been of an actual rivalry and book it how we think it should have been booked. But so we're just going to go through it and, you know, throw some weird stipulations in there and just have fun with it. And also we're going to have some viewer questions. And so if you ever want to ask us a question about wrestling, just hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Barton_Minute, and Anthony Hall over here is at
Hall and Jokes.
And of course you can reach us as an entity at UE_films. But for our first episode, I want to do something. I didn't want to go crazy.
Okay.
And I didn't want you to, you know, have to go, oh, what? I just want to do something simple so people get the idea of what the concept of the podcast is going to be.
Okay.
Very simple. Undertaker versus Sting.
Oh my God.
But here's my caveat to it.
Okay.
Not today. Imagine if Sting came over when WWE bought WCW.
Okay.
Imagine if he came in and it was that era. So it was American Badass Undertaker during that time, or was it Ministry of Darkness? That's the only thing I couldn't remember.
I think it was American Badass Undertaker, but let's look that up. Let's make sure we figure it out.
When did I could have done this before, but I figured I'd make it. All right. When did WWE buy WCW?
It's a part 2001. Of the process. Okay.
All right. So then you got to look up Undertaker 2001. Yeah, American Badass.
Oh, so my
American Badass Undertaker versus the Crow Sting.
Oh my God. Okay. So I think obviously.
Yeah. So what do you think? Where's the first spark of what this rivalry could be?
I think maybe if we should still live in like the invasion angle. Yeah. And maybe we'll have Sting like ambush the Undertaker in one of his matches, like, because we like let's say like in our fictional rebooking of this storyline, like we don't know who has come over from the invasion yet.
Yeah.
Like it's just like slowly there's like ECW and WCW guys like popping up, and like let's say like Undertaker is in a pretty heated match, and like the lights just go dark, and then
all you hear is Gah!
yeah. And then the lights come back up in the arena, and Sting is like behind the Undertaker, and you think
he's gonna attack who would be his opponent back then, 2001.
Oh, I don't know.
Who'd be someone that you'd be facing?
Did he?
Oh,
did he wrestle a lot?
to make it even, what would have been a good pay-per-view back then? Then was Vengeance around or something like that? I don't know.
Let's see. Okay,
what would be crazy would be a WrestleMania, but imagine it's like Undertaker on the end of a rivalry against someone. Let's just say Scotty 2 Hotty. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. Maybe who was like another spooky kind of wrestler at that time in 2001?
No, every name I keep coming up was Ruthless Aggression. Who would have been? I'm just thinking of like random people like Rikishi and
maybe it says maybe he's.
Here's a better question: who did Undertaker face at WrestleMania? Undertaker.
Okay, let's see. Who did Undertaker face at WrestleMania
in 2001?
In 2001.
Welcome to our podcast where we just like
Triple H. Yeah.
Perfect.
Welcome to our Google podcast. Yeah.
Perfect. So
Triple H.
So instead of whatever the finish was that match was, I can't remember at the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
What if it's so close and Triple H is about to end the streak? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then the lights go out. Come back on. Sting's there. And it looks like Sting's going to help
the Undertaker.
Help the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But then turns on him. And then Triple H beats the streak.
Oh.
Or it ends in disqualification. Who cares?
I think it should end in DQ because in this pristine world of ours, we should definitely keep the streak alive.
Yeah. Actually that makes sense because if Sting attacked Undertaker, then he would technically have won. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like an asterisk on a mark.
But
it
would be an asterisk. Yeah. But the streak is not technically over. Yeah. So we're playing this back. So it's WrestleMania. It's Triple H is about to. Actually, no. Let's see. Let's say the Undertaker is about to win the match. Maybe like he's got Triple H.
Because it would be interesting to like how if you have Sting attack Taker. You know, he's a face. Like everyone loves Sting. Sting was, the what's it called? He was like the vigilante in WCW. Yes. So, to have him attack Taker, it has to be I would think it'd either have to be that Triple H would lose, Triple H was about to win, and everybody's like, yeah, Sting's here to help. Like, of course, Triple H would cheat or something, and everybody's like, boo, and so then it's like, oh, Taker's gonna get like Sting's here to help Taker.
Yeah. Okay.
Beat so Triple H, and then
I got it. Yeah. Hear me out. Okay. So, so the ref gets taken out by some spot, as all refs do, and he's just
Earl Hebner, of course.
Yeah. He's just in the corner. He's sleeping, and then Triple H eye rakes the Undertaker. So the Undertaker is also kind of incapacitated, and he goes out of the ring and he grabs the sledgehammer and he comes in and he's about to swing the sledgehammer at Undertaker to just basically take him out of the match. And then the lights go down and then you hear caw, and the lights come up and Sting is behind Triple H. Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, Sting is going to do a scorpion death drop on Triple H and help Undertaker win. But then Sting pushes Triple H aside, grabs the Undertaker, hits the scorpion death drop.
Yeah.
And then Triple H picks up the Undertaker, hits him with a pedigree. Then Earl Hebner wakes up from his nap
and goes 1, 2, 2.5, and Undertaker kicks out.
Yeah.
And then and then Sting's just sort of watching or whatever. And then manages, I mean, it could either be he DQs him or it's so tough to book Taker to maybe lose, but honestly, it could either be, he hits him or something with a bat, knocks him down. Triple H is about to win, but then he doesn't. Then it comes back and Taker Redemption wins, and then it's just like Taker then like knows like Sting tried to take him out, tried to make him lose.
Yeah.
So now here's the rival.
Because if we want to keep the streak alive without any asterisks or any funky business, it should be like, Triple H hits the pedigree and then Undertaker kicks out of it, but Sting is still like kind of like wandering around ringside and like just like keeping an eye on the match, and he's like, what the hell? Like, who is this guy? The Undertaker. And then the Undertaker obviously will like,
and who's commentating at that time would have been Lawler and JR, right?
Probably.
I imagine so. And so so it's just like, it's Sting! It's Sting!
Yeah.
Two phenoms of the wrestling world, Sting and Taker.
Yeah. So then to end the match, I think like Undertaker would get into like a comeback sequence, do like a choke slam. And then like Triple H is obviously still just like, he like gets back up, and then Undertaker hits the last ride, pins Triple H, and looks right at
Sting, who's like partway up the ramp, just like staring back at him. And it's just silent. Just I'm coming for you. I got your number. Yeah. So then, okay. So WrestleMania, that's in April. Okay. So then let's see. So we got two characters who Taker at the time was doing promos.
Yeah. So then maybe
who would be the first to give a promo about the other? Would it be Sting, or would Sting just be would it be booked as like Sting would be the one that we don't know what his intentions are at all?
Yeah, I think that like I think the Raw after Mania, the American Badass Taker comes out and he's like I don't know what's going on here, like I don't want any part of this like bad blood, like I just want to like do me and win the championship. I guess he's trying to maybe avoid the whole invasion angle, like he's trying to just as this like entity, he's just trying to.
Does Taker have the belt at this? I don't even know if that match was for the belt, but like let's give it to him. Yeah, why not? Say it is, and he has the belt.
Yeah, so he's got the belt, and he's like, like all I care about is defending this belt. Like I don't care about any of the other assholes. And then maybe we'll see. Like maybe the lights go out again.
Maybe give some line about like, because at that point with the invasion, it's like, who are these guys? Are they worth being in our company? It's not necessarily to say Taker would then become like the corporate guy, but more of like prove yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the top of the mountain, and here you come in and think that you can make some noise. Let's see what you really can do.
Yeah. And he's like,
I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, I'm not scared of you. Yeah. It's like there's like, you think you could just come in here to my company, into this ring, and you expect
into my yard.
Into my boneyard. and you expect to get a title shot right away. There's like, he's like, there's hundreds of guys in that locker room who have been wrestling in this ring for years and years that deserve a shot before some guy from some like broke company. And then
some guy for some broke company with a baseball bat.
With a baseball bat. I'm not scared of you. Lights down.
Let's go. It's one of the coolest things. It's just so lame when you go back to like think about it. You're like, lights out.
So that obvious the caca happens. The lights come back up. You think Sting is gonna be there, but he's not.
No,
there's just a bat in the ring.
Ooh,
it's like
I like that. I like that. Playing mind games.
Yeah. So then we'll probably have to move on to. I feel like probably just like.
Well, then eventually Sting would have to have a match.
Yeah.
And maybe it's some jobber. Who knows?
Yeah.
He just jobs out. Who would be there at the time? 2001. Scotty Too Hotty.
Scotty Too Hotty.
No, I love Scotty Too Hotty. He just jobs someone out. Not that big of a deal. Taker plays mind games with him.
Yeah.
Lights go out, lightning, and then come back on. No, he's not there.
Yeah.
Maybe. Lights go out, lights come on. The bat's broken.
Oh, yeah. So Sting will probably be having a match like the following week with somebody random, like somebody super random.
Just looking up someone random, just a
yeah,
name that was,
maybe not Scotty Too Hotty, but just like someone who. Oh, this would be good actually. He's not a jobber, but right. he wrestles Kane.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because Kane is like, oh, you can't mess with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You gotta come through me first.
And it could be well, let's see. So that'd be the next week. And maybe it's like it'd be something. It'd either be like just they're facing each other and there's no real explanation, or it'd be just some like backstage segment of just the two of them like eyeing each other down, and then it's just like, oh, they're gonna have a match.
Yeah.
Silent, not explanation. Boom, having a match.
Well, I think maybe at the beginning of the episode of
that would be actually for a long drawn out rivalry. That would be an interesting like short rivalry for like a month leading into a pay-per-view of Sting versus Kane.
Yeah. I think that's the play, because we tease that the Undertaker versus Sting is going to happen with the bat being left in the ring. Mm-hmm. And then the following Raw, I think Sting actually like properly arrives.
Yeah.
And he comes with like some WCW guys as well, but he's just like, he comes through with the bat and he's just kicking the shit out of everybody backstage, including Scotty Too Hotty. Just gets smacked in the face with a bat.
Love Scotty Too Hotty.
And then Kane like just pops up and just gets in like Sting's face, and they're like, oh, okay, like what's gonna happen here? Mm-hmm. And then the manager at the time books them for a singles match.
This would be on Raw.
On Raw.
Yeah. So this was before the invasion, was before the brand split.
Right.
So was there a general manager at that point? Or was it just Vince McMahon?
I guess it'd be Vince. It makes sense that it's Vince.
They're doing their own thing. They're having their own family troubles.
Yeah. Okay, so now there's it's basically Vince books Sting versus Kane for the main event of the night.
Yeah.
So they're fighting
at that point. I'm trying to. It's hard to remember pay-per-views from back then. I think it would be Backlash, but like, let's just say it's Backlash because who cares? And like that's that. Meanwhile, Taker is doing a world title program with someone else. Maybe it's the rematch of Triple H versus Taker.
Yeah, like that we could definitely keep that going because not like, even though he wins, like there was shenanigans. So like Triple H is like, I don't need help from anybody. Like that was actually a distraction. Like give me like I want that belt. Like
and of course, and Vince gives him that, and so there you go.
Exactly.
Just that's the main event of Backlash.
Yeah, you're right. It is Backlash that followed WrestleMania that year, I do believe.
Yeah.
So there
you go.
All right. So that's the.
I'm thinking this all culminates. I mean, you could do long term, but if you just want to do short term, probably everything culminates at SummerSlam. That'd be a good one.
Yeah. That gives a couple of pay-per-views for us to build up. We have Judgment Day, we have King of the Ring, and we have the actual Invasion pay-per-view.
There was the Invasion pay-per-view.
So that could kind of settle the Invasion, like the exterior Invasion storylines for then at SummerSlam. You find like even though the Invasion has effectively been shut down, you still have Sting, who is like, I want that shot. I've proven myself, despite the fact.
Now, should they end would this rivalry be interesting to end in just a straightforward wrestling match or some crazy weird gimmick?
Hell no, Marty.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna straight up say Hell in a Cell.
No, you don't book the Undertaker in a feud unless it's a casket match.
Right.
Even though he's
Buried
the American
alive.
badass.
Buried alive.
Buried alive would actually Buried alive. I think would be better. I think we should have a casket match at some point in time.
Ooh,
During
what if this is just being really dorky, but what if the okay, who comes out on top? Let's just long term say who comes out on top. If it's WWE, it's got to be
Undertaker. Yeah.
So then what if the Buried Alive match at SummerSlam ends, he puts him in, and then he walks over, and over top of the tombstone there's been like this like purple or you know like a sheet or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he rips it off and it says rest in peace WCW.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because the Invasion pay-per-view was just the previous pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, and the Invasion pay-per-view could have Team Taker and Team Sting.
Team Sting, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Great. Yeah, okay. So basically what we have is WrestleMania. It's the same match, Undertaker versus Triple H. Shenanigans happen. Triple H is about to assault the Undertaker. Lights go down. Caw. Sting is there. You think he's going to help Triple H. Scorpion death drop on Undertaker. And then Triple H hits Undertaker with a pedigree. But then Undertaker kicks out. And he does a crazy comeback sequence. Maybe hits an old school choke slam. Last ride. Pins Triple H. Looks right at Sting.
Yeah.
As if he's like, you're not coming for my title.
And then over the next month leading up to Backlash, we have, you know, Triple H wanting to get the title back. You have Sting getting to a rivalry with Kane. That leads into, would it lead into a gimmick match or would it be just a straight wrestling?
I think it would be just a regular match.
Yeah, during those times, you know, gimmicks were the way to really sell something. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it could be
there are big gimmick matches.
Maybe it could be an
on the Backlash card.
Match.
We'll save that.
But yeah,
we could save that.
And so I think slowly back and forth during these is just mind games between the two. But at one point, what was it? Judgment Day was one that comes after that.
Judgment Day is after Backlash.
Either before Judgment Day or the Invasion pay-per-view, there has to be a moment where Sting destroys Taker's motorcycle with a bat.
Yes.
There has to be. It has to, because every single rivalry where someone has a car or someone has something, someone destroys it with. So it has to get destroyed. Because it's got to make those top 10 lists.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of vehicles destroyed in WWE.
Well, I think that should happen at King of the Ring. So King of the Ring follows
King of the Ring. Jesus.
Follows Judgment Day. So basically,
who was King of the Ring in 2001? I just want to know. I want to find this out now. 2001. What an interesting time.
Kurt Angle, maybe?
Was it Kurt? Okay, yeah. He stayed.
Oh, King of the Ring 75. Yeah.
Kurt makes sense.
I think so. Yeah, King of the Ring final. Oh no, Edge won King of the Ring. The final.
Edge. I forgot that Edge won King of the Ring.
Oh, okay. So King of the Ring is kind of like it's gonna have to be an ultimate build-up for Invasion.
I want King of the Ring to come back, like properly.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want it to be this is just sidetrack off of everything. Now we're just talking about wrestling. I want King of the Ring to come back as a pay-per-view where the entire pay-per-view is a tournament.
I agree.
Or
and I think
I also want Queen of the Ring. I want Queen of the Ring.
Oh, if they could bring it back properly, I think now would be a good time. Like in the era of this audienceless wrestling. Like I think
Yeah.
that would be exciting to bring like a tournament format back right now.
All right.
Okay,
Back to
we're
Taker,
back to the Undertaker.
Back to Taker versus Sting.
Okay, so then at Judgment Day, I think we resume like the Taker and Sting mind games. Um I think maybe another interference type thing should happen, but this time it's not just Sting. It's like it's all the WCW guys.
What if then you have Brothers of Destruction versus Sting, and he picks like, and he got to pick one of the WCW guys, like he picks Booker T or or I guess Goldberg. I don't know. He picks one of those guys, and it's a tag team match.
Yeah,
maybe it's like a hardcore tag team match or something, or it could just be a regular. But like, just to then drive like, because then that would obviously, if you think about how WWE books things, you got to protect certain people at certain times.
Yeah.
So then that way, Kane can take a loss, or whoever teams with Sting. Let's say it's Booker T, because that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Booker T and Sting versus Brothers of Destruction. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And I think in the previous pay-per-view, Sting goes over at Backlash against Kane.
Course. Yeah.
So then this time, I think the Undertaker should pin Booker T to win the tag team match.
Yeah.
So then that leads to King of the Ring, which will be, I guess, like it's just kind of like an in-between, because whoever wins King of the Ring gets to challenge the Undertaker. No?
King of the Ring. Nah, King of the Ring was always just, no one ever came out of King of the Ring as like, that was always the thing that bugged me about King of the Ring. Was like, it was just you are who we deem as going to be a top guy, but they never gave them anything. Like, so it wasn't like what ended up being Money in the Bank or anything like that. It wasn't like, like when Stone Cold won it, it wasn't that he immediately got a title shot. It was just kind of like the birth of who we knew was going to be the Rattlesnake.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say
Edge still wins it, but at King of the Ring, something happened.
Yeah, I think we pepper in some ECW and WCW guys in our King of the Ring.
I mean, you could have Sting be in the tournament, and Undertaker screws him out of it.
I love that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's say, so Sting comes off of this tag team loss at Judgment Day, and he's like, but he still wants a shot at the Undertaker. He gets into the King of the Ring to prove that he's better than all of the guys that Undertaker was talking about when he's like, there's hundreds of guys in the locker room who deserve a shot before you. So he goes into this tournament and he makes it to the final.
He makes some, and Sting makes some promo basically saying like, if Taker really thinks that there's tons of guys in that locker room that deserve a shot more than me, I officially enter into the King of the Ring to prove that I will run through anyone you got.
Exactly. But obviously he loses because the Undertaker, I don't even think the Undertaker does anything to screw him over per se, but it's just like we bring back that lights up moment, and we bring back the bat, and the bat is broken, and he's like, and he looks, but he's distracted, so Edge can go into the corner and just full speed spear him and then pin Sting.
Oh, that would be a crazy match. Sting versus Edge. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I picked Sting versus Taker is because everyone's wanted to see. They don't know if that's going to be, if eventually they will get to be both their last match or whatever, who knows. But that would be such a good match. Sting versus fucking Edge in 2001. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the pin happens and Edge wins King of the Ring. But now everybody's pissed. All the locker rooms are pissed. So Edge wins King of the Ring, but everybody comes out and there's this huge brawl that basically sets up the Invasion pay-per-view. Like everybody is just beating the snot out of each other. And Undertaker and Sting actually finally do like fight for a brief moment. They're brawling.
Yeah, because yeah, that would be really good. Because it's not in my mind. I wouldn't want it to be that it's, you know, Taker and Sting being those two guys who were that, because at that time wasn't it like it was Stone Cold, because it wasn't the Invasion pay-per-view like, oh, that's where Stone Cold screwed over Kurt Angle and them, right? If I'm
Let's
remembering correctly, because it
see.
was Team WCW versus
Yeah.
Team WWE, and someone screwed over the other team, and I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was because then Stone Cold led the Invasion people, if I'm not mistaken. That's how reality actually worked out.
Yeah. Well,
But
there was like, yeah. So basically, it's just like the invasion angle. Like all of the titles get pretty much put up. Like
yeah,
like so. Yeah, you have all of those matches, and then the main event was like a team WCW, who the champion at the time was Booker T. So
yeah.
Booker T was the champ. But so let's say, yeah, sure, he still is the champ, but instead of Rhino and Diamond Dallas Page and the
Rhino and
Dudley Boys,
Diamond Dallas Page. I
you
love
replace what
it.
you replace one of those guys with Sting, but Sting like takes over being the de facto leader of the WCW team, because Booker T is the one who ate the pin
I mean,
at Judgment Day, right?
it could even be that like I don't, maybe it's getting too complicated, but at the same time, I don't really see those two as like leading the charge of this whole invasion rivalry, but I think
Right.
that they become a part of it. Like maybe even they're maybe like Team WCW is getting set up, right? And they have someone, and there's another rivalry going around, and one of the team members gets taken out.
Yeah.
Like, is like, oh, they can't compete. Who? We need someone, and then they're like, we can ask Sting. And
I think Sting just volunteers because he
or
knows
Sting volunteers,
Undertaker. Yeah, he knows Undertaker's on the WWF team, with like Kurt Angle, Kane, Steve Austin, and Jericho. So
Or
then,
yeah, or it could even
yeah,
be that like a spot opens up and Sting volunteers,
yeah,
and then suddenly Undertaker is there on the team, and it's like, well, I thought it was supposed to be
somebody
whoever,
else.
and then
Yeah, yeah,
and it's clear that it's just like they're not doing this because of the rivalry, or they're not doing this because of the invasion. They're doing it because they want a piece of each other.
yeah. So I think that match is grueling, and they fight like crazy, and they don't actually get to finish the match. Like it's like somebody else. Like let's say like team W, let's in our world, team WWF wins that because that kind of ends the invasion storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say like instead of Steve Austin turning, Steve Austin hits Booker T with a Stone Cold Stunner and pins him, and the match is over. But Undertaker and Sting are still just like ringside beating each other up.
Yeah,
And then that will set up over the weeks this this rivalry. It will really heat up where like Sting will like just like ambush the Undertaker, and Undertaker will ambush Sting. They'll break the motorcycle breaking will be on an episode
yeah.
of Raw. Doesn't Sting have a motorcycle too?
I maybe, but I don't think he regularly rode it to the ring like Taker did.
Yeah.
I think it might have been part of his character, but it's just so much more of the character of the American badass, where it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy your motorcycle
Yeah. Okay. So then
because now we don't care.
yeah. Maybe like the Raw before, like maybe the go home episode is when like Sting like sees Undertaker's motorcycle, and you see like a Titantron of it, like Undertaker's in a match with somebody and just like it just crushes him, and then he looks at the screen, and Sting's like, "Hey, Taker," and he just,
Yeah.
they just absolutely
How do we
destroys the motorcycle.
How do we set up a buried alive match? Because you can't just all of a sudden say, and this Sunday they're going to be in a buried alive match, and so, like it has to be set up over the weeks. So maybe instead of the go home of that, maybe it's a few weeks before.
Okay.
And then I don't know, it's dumb, but maybe Sting buries Taker's motorcycle.
That's funny. Yeah, he's like, yeah, somehow he like gets control of like this like crane or something, and he like he picks up the motorcycle in the parking lot and drops it into a hole.
Yeah,
and then somebody else is in the bulldozer and pushes the dirt over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, "What the? What the hell?" And let's say that Sting's motorcycle is also in this, and
or it could be that Sting destroys Taker's motorcycle, just destroys it, and then Undertaker buries it in like cement or something.
Sting's motorcycle,
in like cement or something, and then that's where Sting then declares, "I'm ready to bury this once and for all, Taker. And I challenge you for the title at SummerSlam in a buried alive."
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right. Yeah, so I think it'd be funny for Sting to blow up Undertaker's motorcycle. Like he's obviously just beating it up with a bat, but then he like lights it on fire and makes it explode.
Yeah.
And then the next week, Undertaker sees Sting's motorcycle because Sting is now gloating that he has a motorcycle because he's blown up Undertaker's. And Undertaker does the crane thing and picks up the motorcycle, drops it into like a hole, and then Kane pushes the dirt over it or whatever. or Kane is in a cement truck and is
that
just
would
like,
be an amazing visual of just Kane mask just in a cement truck, just starting to pour cement into.
He starts the bowl, and then it just like is slowly dumping a bunch of concrete onto Sting's motorcycle. And Sting, let's say he's like in a match, and he like just like leaves. He like grabs his baseball bat, just like assaults the guy, leaves the match to go try to save his motorcycle. And
backstage brawl.
He beats up a bunch of people. Hits like a security guard with a scorpion death drop, like runs outside, and just as he gets out, he sees like a little bit of his bike left in the pile, and then it's just like just as he gets there, the cement just perfectly covers it, and he's like, "No, no." No, what?
Oh my god. What a build.
and then the credits come up, and then so basically,
and then the next week is the official, "I'm gonna bury this once and for all."
When
I bury you and end your career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, we get to the pinnacle of this Sting Undertaker rivalry, where it's at SummerSlam. It's the main event. It's a buried alive match for the title, and it's just a slobber knocker. Like they're hitting each other. They're doing all the signatures.
The bat involved.
The bat is involved.
They destroy the Spanish announce team's table.
Undertaker for sure choke slams Sting through the Spanish announce table.
Yep.
Like 100%.
And then we get back up the ramp. Let's see. Sting, it would easily be one of those things where Sting is about to do it, gets reversed into a last ride, into the hole.
Into the hole,
Drops it.
Yeah.
It would be a crazy match. It would be just like finally watching those guys in their prime. That would be just nuts.
Yes. And it'd be funny. It'd be funny after this. Like, I know this is a fantasy storyline. So after the rivalry has ended and after this buried alive match, Sting re-debuts, but he's face Sting, like
Oh
early,
yeah,
early, like Surfer
Surfer
Sting.
Sting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
So that is it.
Yeah,
That's
and it's buried. It gets buried. Taker walks over to the. Oh, of course it's Taker, so it's not going to be a reveal. It's going to be a fucking lightning bolt that hits the tombstone, and then it says "Rest in peace, WCW."
exactly. Yeah.
What a storyline!
We have some destruction. We've got
It's not like it's the like. It's not like it's the like the wackiest or weirdest. There's some funny stuff in there, but it's like something you could have totally seen in the early 2000s during that time.
I think we kept a lot of the storylines intact that were happening around this at that time, and we just kind of modded it so that the Undertaker and Sting could at SummerSlam wrestle each other.
Well, because it's one of it's that thing of like that's why I picked it, because I thought, what would have happened if Sting came over during that? Because you had a bunch of guys come over, and a lot of them got fired. And you had some people, but Sting was the one guy who was like, nope, I'll just go do something else. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, what if he did?
What if he did?
And that would be the premier rivalry to do, would be that then.
Yeah.
And then revisit it like 20 years later. or 10 or 15 years later.
And have Sting and Undertaker in the Boneyard match instead of Sting and AJ Styles.
Instead of AJ Styles and Taker, you mean?
Oh yeah. Instead of AJ Styles and Taker.
Damn, so good.
That's it. Boom. We did it.
We book it, Vince.
So book it, Vince. Go back in time.
Go back in time and book it, Vince.
Yeah. Get in that time machine, Vince. Book it.
Awesome. All right. There we go. That's great. Well, to finish off the podcast, first, let us know how you would have booked Sting versus Taker. If there's any sort of special match or how you would have seen the rivalry go, please let us know, because that's what the fun of this all is. Just being experimental, being creative, and just booking how to our fan, like our little Mark's desires.
Yeah.
The little Mark in all of us.
we got a little bit crazy, but I know that some listeners will get even crazier. I want to hear it. I want to hear everybody's ideal booking of an Undertaker Sting feud.
That'd be great. All right. So now we got some viewer questions.
Oh, amazing.
Because I put out a thing. So if you don't know, please check out the rest of our YouTube channel. If you're watching this, or if you're listening to this on some sort of podcasting service, we do have a YouTube channel where we have a lot of different stuff, including a series that we did a little bit ago called The Bracketeers, where myself, Anthony, and our friends Jeffrey Cork and Pierce Stelmack sat around and discussed what was the greatest movie franchise of all time. So you can watch that whole series on our YouTube channel, but we also stream on twitch.tv/UnknownError Films. And from that, we have our lovely community. And I put out a question just saying, if you have any wrestling questions or any of your dream matches, just let us know. So we do have some questions here. One is from one of our lovely moderators over on Twitch, Helena FJ.
Oh, okay.
And she asked, here's a newbie question for you. What the heck is wrestling, and why do you enjoy it?
What the heck is wrestling, and why do we enjoy it?
Wrestling to me is, because this is one of the things that always bugs me, is whenever you say you like wrestling and someone says, it's fake, right? What wrestling is to me is the craziest form of storytelling you can have. Because it's drama, it is basically a soap opera, but the way you finish storylines and the way that you resolve things is through fighting, and crazy things happen, and like you can get into like weird magical things or just dumb finishes, and you have these characters that are out of this world who would never be a real person in that you would see on the street. But I just find it's the funniest and most entertaining way to tell very simple stories. And also it's just interesting with like how athletic a lot of wrestlers are and what they can do and what they will do.
Yeah, I think wrestling for me is like theater in the squared circle, and you have these very intricate stories between good guys and bad guys, and they are dealt with via choreographed combat and stunts. And I think when I was a kid, I loved watching it because of the crazy characters. Like obviously we just booked the Undertaker, who is an undead wizard, and his brother Kane, and Sting,
Sting, who was just a normal wrestler and then came back as a vigilante wearing black and white face paint and had a bat.
And I think as an adult watching wrestling and someone who is a writer is just like seeing how the characters develop is really cool, and knowing all of the different mechanics of wrestling, like the storytelling is really, really fun to watch. And just how innovative all of the promotions and companies have gotten over the years, and how they do matches is also something that's really fascinating to watch. But most of all, it's just there's part of it that's really nostalgic that brings me back to being a kid, and then now there's parts that are just like really hilarious and awesome to watch, and it's like wildly entertaining. Like just getting a bunch of people together and watching a pay-per-view, especially like the Royal Rumble, when you have some civilians, the people who don't watch wrestling that often, or maybe watched it as a kid, like getting reinvested into this really silly event where you just cram as many people into a ring and throw them over the top rope.
Yeah.
Like
so you can be the last person standing.
Yeah.
No, it's to me, it's also just like, it's something that if you let yourself just get enveloped with, and you just let yourself, like, you accept that, what's it called? Like you accept the fantasy of it all.
Yeah.
And accept that this could be real. And you know, if you just accept it and let yourself like go into it, you get really passionate about certain people and certain things happening, and it's just so fun and silly, and that's why I love it.
Yeah. If you suspend your disbelief,
that's what I was trying to think of.
And buy into the storylines, the kayfabe, the magic of wrestling, you will be surprised at how invested you get. And I think that is, definitely one of the beauties of wrestling.
I hope that answered your question, Helena. And then we have another question here from another Twitch viewer and community member on Septium. And he asks, what is your favorite wrestling move of all time? He specifically asks, what is your favorite knockout move?
Oh, like a finisher.
Yeah.
That would have to be the Stone Cold Stunner.
The Stunner?
Yes.
What is your opinion then on KO use?
Oh,
being given it to him from Stone Cold.
I think it's okay. It obviously doesn't like hold the same magnitude, and like it's not as like crazy to see. Just the way that Stone Cold did the move and how it fit into the character was just, it was awesome. It was so beautiful.
It's always great when someone, like for me, I think when you say like what's the best knockout move, it also has to be who can take it the best. Because the Stunner is amazing, but if someone doesn't take it properly, it feels so, i.e. Vince McMahon, who has never been able to take a Stone Cold Stunner. The man can't take a stunner to save his life, but someone like Shane McMahon can, and takes it beautifully. And
of course The Rock, like seeing the Rock sell a stunner is
just getting hit and flying back and like almost doing a flip.
Yeah.
After getting hit.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, oh jeez, it's my favorite move, finishing move. Honestly, I definitely always pop when I watch Taker do the last ride. Just because of the height that he gave some of the guys.
Yeah.
And like that Taker versus Edge TLC match where he throws him through 2 tables.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That is so cool because it's even more so than like Batista's power bomb or the pop-up power bomb or anything like that. Like the height that he gives some people is nuts. And yeah, I can't imagine how much that hurts falling from like 8 feet onto the mat.
That's like Kevin Nash and the jackknife powerbomb as well, which was like, it's very similar to the last ride. And they're both like him and Undertaker are both huge dudes. So seeing like the height that he would just raise these guys and then just whip them down was pretty satisfying.
I will also say I'm always a big fan of submission moves. And I still think that one of the best submission moves is Killer Crossface from Chris Benoit.
Of course.
Because it always looked he made it look painful. He legitimately made it look painful, whereas something like the STFU is like, okay. But
it's good. Like, this is this.
It's like just barely squeezing their head and just yelling a lot. But yeah, like good submission moves, I'm always impressed by. If they can make it look painful, then sell it that way. I'm always happy.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of finishing moves that are repeatable. Like that's why I like the stunner so much. Like you can spam it, right? Like you could hit the stunner like 3 times, and also like Sweet Chin Music. Like you could hit Sweet Chin Music like 3 times.
Yeah,
and that's pretty great. Like spammable finisher moves are very hilarious to watch, and
out of nowhere finisher moves are great too.
Yeah, RKO, which is essentially the stunner, and the diamond cutter, which is essentially the RKO.
Everything is a variant of like one of my favorite variations of the stunner, and I'm sad that she can't really do it anymore because she's been out of action for a long time. But Ember Moon's Eclipse.
Oh, and that's so sick.
Like off the top rope into a stunner.
Yeah,
is crazy. And then there have been certain people, Mickie James. If you look up Ember Moon versus Mickie James sells it like nobody else, and it's such a devastating like, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Yes.
But, all right. Well, thank you so much for your questions, people. Of course, if you want to ask any more questions, feel free to, if you're part of our Discord or community Discord, leave them in there. If you follow us on Twitter or Instagram, leave them there. Our Instagram and Twitter are both at UE_films. You can follow myself personally online at that's my Twitter handle. No, you can follow me at Barton_Minute. My brain just stopped for a hot second. And you can follow Anthony Hall at
Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. This was fun. And obviously, if you have any dream matches that you'd like to see, let us know. We might use those suggestions for future episodes.
That's right.
So thank you so much. Enjoy. I don't know what I was going to try to say. I was going to say try to enjoy isolation. Try to enjoy the pandemic.
Enjoy the pandemic.
Be safe out there. Watch some wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And we love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.